say, okay, let me put it as 3 years ago. In the movie, um, it was more like a robot replacement of her deceased partner. Yes. And the robot wasn't meant to die, but the robot was made to look, act, and feel like a human being. So the robot was there with her, would lie down on the bed with her, and all that and all that. And in fact, it even transcended just lying down on the bed with her, being there to listen and all. The robot could not speak, but they could have a conversation, texting kind of conversation, and the robot would even be intimate with her. But I think at some point the reality dawned on her that this person's memory she's trying to keep. I wish I can remember the title of the movie. Let me see if I can do a quick Google search for the movie. She eventually destroyed it. Yes. Now, while that is a movie, there is the reality of things. It's actually happening in 2026. Imagine it's a Sunday afternoon. You are missing your late father. You're missing his laugh. You're missing the way he always gave you that specific piece of advice when life got tough. And then you pick up your phone, you open an app, and he calls you. It's his exact voice, his unique slang, and he remembers your last conversation. But here is the catch, it's not him, it's a digital ghost. It's an AI trained on his old WhatsApp voice notes, emails, and videos. You fed that that device the information. You fed that application all the information they needed to replicate your father's presence. In 2026, grief, and then tech is a multi-million dollar industry. And you may be wondering, it's been in existence since 2003. I mean, 2023, I beg your pardon. People are actually paying to keep their loved ones alive in the cloud. It's funny, right? Some say it's a beautiful way to never say goodbye. But trust me, when I saw that movie that I saw, huh? Others are saying it's a betrayal of the natural cycle of life. It's a digital hunting that stops us from truly healing. Are we honoring our ancestors? Are we just talking to a computer that's wearing their skin? So you remember that Adele song, Hello from the Other Side? AI is bringing back our dead, from chatbox to afterlife avatars. A new wave of grief tech is changing how we mourn, blurring the line between memory and simulation, between comfort and denial. I think the name of the movie, let me be sure it's that movie I'm talking about. Um, is it Black Mirror? Let me be sure. And I'm not going to even advise you to go and see that movie. Is it Black Mirror? It's not Black. I think it's Black Mirror. It's a seven. I think it's a seven series. All right. Each story. I think it should be Black Mirror. I may be wrong, but it's so dark yet so terrifyingly plausible. So yeah, the episode I'm referring to, episode Be Right Back. It's about a grieving woman who uses AI to recreate her late boyfriend, feeding it his texts and posts, and the replica sounds just like him. It was comforting at first, then unsettling as the line between memory and mimicry begins to blur. This was in 2013. A decade later, the technology is real. So I wouldn't want to say welcome, but some people are already on board. Money meets machine learning, not so far fetched from Brooker's universe. We now live among chatbots that simulate lost ones and apps that create like lifelike avatars. The digital afterlife services are offering people a way to keep the dead close. Maybe too close. It's intimate, it's unsettling, and it's deeply modern. And it's reprogramming the way we grieve. But moving on, let me ask this question. These questions, rather. If your loved one called you today via AI, would you pick up the phone or let them rest in peace? I say this because, from a personal experience, grief doesn't really go away. It never does. You just find better ways to cope with the loss of a loved one. But there is always something that reminds you, if this person was here. Imagine having to go through that phase and receiving a call from someone who sounded like them. Now, does this help a grieving loved one, or does it prevent them from ever accepting that the person is gone? Lately, I had to do something myself. I discovered that I had had the phone numbers of people who had left this life for too long on my mobile device. Yes. I've had numbers stored on my phone for the past 16 years and counting. Even more, for the past, put it at roughly 19 years or 20 years. I've had those numbers with me. So I never really got around to delete the numbers of the ones that have died. The ones I remember to do are on social media. Maybe something pops up. Usually on your birthdays, I will get a reminder that it's this person's birthday. And I'm sad. And then I unfriend the person because clearly the person is no more. And a lot of people do not know that, because I still see people wishing them a happy birthday after their demise. Now, this conversation may get to your soul. It's not the intention, but I do know that there is that constant yearning to want to hear from someone who has passed. You know how sometimes you win something, and maybe an award, maybe a victory, maybe you just graduated, and you probably are handed over the mic to give a speech, and you hold onto the mic like this and you say, I'm very grateful for this award. I must say that I'm dedicating this award to my late. If he were here, if she were here, I'm so happy that I got to do this and I got to make them proud. You sometimes write out those speeches. Sometimes you achieve something and you just feel like wherever they are smiling at you. And some of you even have the culture of always visiting their graveside, anniversaries, birthdays, any memorable dates. You just want to go there and just have a word with them, assuming they are listening. So, hey, who is to say we can't have this conversation, seeing that AI is taking over everything? Again, I'm asking, if your loved one called you today via AI, would you pick up the phone or let them rest in peace? Does this help a grieving loved one, or does it prevent them from ever accepting that the person is gone? Let's talk. 0817 923 0002. Again, 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number for your WhatsApp and Telegram messages is 0809 030 6416. Once again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 030 6416. On X, we are at Nigeria Info page, and our Facebook page is Nigeria Info 90.3 page. Go there, watch us live, but most importantly, be a part of the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section, and I would gladly read them. Again, if you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, send us a message. Send us a message. I see a message here already. And this one reads, "Hi, let the dead rest. AI may be useful in other areas, i.e. Uchi Beke from Ekpaya land. There is a way people used to communicate with the dead in some parts of our tradition. True. I mean, even in the Bible, Paul at some point had to go and awaken the spirit of Samuel, Prophet Samuel, to hear from him. So, yeah, even in our traditional systems, a lot of people believe that they can really talk to the dead. Call it juju or whatever. I think this AI stuff is just a modernized way of communicating with the dead. And it's from Reggie. But then again, how true is it? I mean, you literally feed every information that is needed. And then artificial intelligence will replicate everything you fed the system. So you're going to be asked to supply details of what their voice sounds like. You're going to be made to share chats with them if you have them, so they understand how this person, you know how you can clearly tell that this is the person chatting with you. If you've chatted with someone long enough, that is the person's pattern. So what it does is replicate that pattern, and you look at it and you say, this actually looks like it is my mom texting me. This is how she would usually sound. They would take note of all the punctuations wherever they are, all the slangs. I don't know for how long you would have to keep updating and feeding the system with all of those details. For the voice, they would take cognizance of the voice, and then when they speak to you vocally, they would replicate mannerisms. It's going to look real. It's going to even feel real. But is this something that we want to explore, really? Is it something that is worth exploring? NX from Woji. For those times when we had to go and meet someone to help us invoke the spirit of our dead ones, what was it about them that we needed to find or see or experience? Because at those times it was temporal. It's not like they're going to wake the person up and then you're going to go home with the person. And even when you see movies where people have had to raise the dead, you just discover that the person who died and the person who is resurrected, they are two different people. Like, at least for the movies I have seen. And I know some of us have seen Hollywood and Nollywood movies about ghosts, and I'm not even here to have that argument about whether or not they exist. But what you feel about such happenings. We need to go on a commercial break. When we come back, conversation continues. Stay tuned.